If you walked into a salon where mirrors were banned, would you stay or would you leave? Imagine stepping into a seemingly ordinary neighborhood hair salon, only to find out there's something more than just a haircut waiting for you. Let me tell you a story about Sarah, a woman who learned the hard way that some rules exist for a reason. It was a chilly autumn afternoon when Sarah walked into the salon. The moment she stepped through the door, she was struck by the strange sense of calm that seemed to hang in the air. The sound of hairdryers humming, the faint smell of shampoo and coffee, and the quiet chatter between the stylist and clients all felt normal enough. But then Sarah noticed it. There were no mirrors, not a single one. She paused, eyes scanning the room, trying to make sense of the unusual sight. She moved towards the reception desk, her curiosity growing with every step. The woman behind the counter, Yasha, smiled warmly as Sarah approached. Yasha looked elegant, yet there was something almost otherworldly about her, a quiet reserve that didn't quite match the lively ambiance of the salon. "Hello, welcome. First time here?" Yasha asked. Sarah smiled back, trying to shake off the unease that had settled in her chest. "Yeah, I've heard good things about this place, but," she hesitated, looking at the walls where mirrors should be. "What's up with the no mirrors?" she asked, pointing to a small sign in the corner that read, "No mirrors allowed." Yasha's smile tightened slightly, her eyes momentarily flicking to the side before returning to Sarah. "It's a rule," she said in a tone that was calm but firm. "No mirrors allowed." Sarah laughed nervously, her mind not fully grasping the meaning of the rule. "You're kidding, right? How am I supposed to see my hair if there's no mirror?" Yasha's expression remained unchanged, but there was a flicker of something dark in her eyes. "You'll see," she said softly, almost as if it were a warning, "but not in the way you think." "All right then," Sarah said, trying to laugh off the weirdness. "I'm in. Let's do it." Yasha gestured for Sarah to take a seat in one of the chairs. The salon was unusually quiet, the other clients simply sitting there, reading magazines or chatting softly. No one seemed to mind the lack of mirrors. It was as though they had accepted this strange rule without question. As Sarah settled into the chair, she couldn't help but feel like she was the only one who noticed how strange it was. As Yasha began to work on Sarah's hair, she couldn't stop herself from glancing around. The place was full of people, yet no one was looking at themselves, not even checking their phones. Everyone seemed calm, almost too calm. No one was staring at their reflections or adjusting their hair. It felt like something was missing. The soft hum of the blow-dryer broke the silence, but Sarah's thoughts were racing. "What's going on here?" she muttered under her breath, but no one paid her any attention. It was then that Sarah noticed the woman sitting 2 chairs over. She looked to be in her late 40s, and she seemed fidgety, almost anxious. Sarah watched as the woman pulled a small compact mirror from her purse and began to adjust her makeup. The room seemed to go still for a moment, like everyone held their breath. Yasha stopped in the middle of cutting Sarah's hair and turned sharply toward the woman with the mirror. Her expression was unreadable, but there was a tension in her gaze that sent a chill down Sarah's spine. The woman with the mirror seemed completely oblivious to the growing unease in the room. She was too focused on checking her reflection, unaware of the danger she had just walked into. "Excuse me." Yasha's voice was calm but firm as she approached the woman. "You know the rule," she said. The woman looked up, startled. "What rule?" she asked, blinking in confusion. "The no mirrors rule," Yasha replied, her voice unwavering. "You can't use mirrors here." "I didn't think it would be a problem," the woman muttered, clearly embarrassed. "I just wanted to check my makeup." Before Sarah could process what was happening, Yasha's hand shot out, and with a single, swift motion, she knocked the compact mirror from the woman's hand. It hit the floor with a loud, echoing crack. The salon went completely silent, the only sound being the soft shuffling of Yasha's shoes as she moved toward the broken mirror. The woman's face drained of color. "I'm so sorry," she whispered, trembling as she bent to pick up the shattered pieces. I didn't mean to. Yasha's voice was cold, her words carrying the weight of a warning. You shouldn't have brought that in here. Now, you'll have to leave. The woman didn't protest. She grabbed the pieces of her broken mirror and quickly stood, her hands shaking as she looked around the room. Without another word, she hurried out of the salon, leaving behind an uncomfortable silence. The rest of the clients, however, acted as if nothing out of the ordinary had happened. They continued reading their magazines, flipping through pages as though nothing had occurred. Sarah's mind was racing. She looked around, confused and unnerved. What just happened? She whispered under her breath. Yasha moved quickly to clean up the broken mirror, not seeming fazed by the incident at all. There was something in her demeanor, something almost mechanical, as though this was just another part of her daily routine. Sarah sat there, feeling her heart beat faster with each passing second. There was no way this was normal. She had to know what was going on. What's the deal with the no mirrors rule? Sarah blurted out. Her voice trembled slightly, betraying the fear that was beginning to creep in. Yasha paused in her movements, turning slowly to meet Sarah's gaze. Her expression softened, but there was a guarded look in her eyes. It's a rule, Yasha said, her voice low. It's there for a reason. Sarah leaned forward, the curiosity gnawing at her. Why? What's so dangerous about mirrors? Yasha didn't answer right away. She took a deep breath, as if considering how much to reveal. Then, finally, she spoke in a hushed voice, barely above a whisper. You've heard the stories, haven't you? She asked. The ones about the old house, about the curse that haunts the land? People don't just come here for a haircut. There's a reason for the rule. It's not just about vanity. Mirrors are a portal, a way for the spirit to cross over. Sarah's blood ran cold as Yasha's words sank in. A spirit? Portals? This was starting to sound like something out of a horror movie. Yasha continued, her voice becoming more urgent. My family has kept this salon for generations. We've made a pact, a deal with a dark spirit, to keep the curse at bay. No mirrors means the spirit stays trapped. If someone dares to break the rule, the spirit will escape. And when it does, no one is safe. Sarah's mind was spinning. She tried to process the words, but they didn't seem real. A curse? A spirit? It felt like a bad dream, but the fear in Yasha's eyes told her that this wasn't something she should ignore. Before Sarah could say anything more, there was a sudden, sharp sound, the unmistakable crack of glass shattering. Everyone in the salon froze. Sarah's heart skipped a beat as she turned to see what had happened. One of the mirrors, one that had been hanging on the wall, was now lying in pieces on the floor. The temperature in the room dropped, the air thick with tension. A cold breeze swept through the salon, and Sarah could feel it deep in her bones. Something was wrong. Something dark was coming. Yasha jumped to her feet, her face pale. Get out, she commanded. Now! But it was too late. The spirit, released from the broken mirror, was already beginning to take shape. A shadowy figure, dark and formless, began to materialize in the center of the room. It was moving toward Sarah, its cold presence radiating malice. It reached out, its hand stretching toward her, and for a moment, Sarah felt an icy chill wrap around her heart. Yasha moved quickly, chanting words under her breath in a language Sarah didn't recognize. The air seemed to vibrate with energy. Sarah could feel the weight of something powerful in the room. The shadowy figure lunged, but just as quickly, Yasha slammed her hands onto the shards of the broken mirror. There was a flash of light, and the spirit let out a loud, echoing scream as it was sucked back into the pieces of glass. The room fell silent once more. The temperature returned to normal, and the shadow was gone. Yasha collapsed to the floor, breathing heavily, her hands shaking as she looked at Sarah. You... Sarah gasped. You sent it back? Yasha nodded, her face drained of color. I had to break the rule. It was the only way to stop it. Sarah looked at Yasha, her mind reeling. The curse was real, the spirit was real, and she had just narrowly escaped it. As she left the salon, the sun was setting behind her, casting long shadows on the street. Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that she had barely survived something far darker than she could ever imagine. And now, more than ever, she understood why mirrors were banned. Some rules exist for a reason. Some things are better left unseen. If you liked my video, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share it with your friends so more people can benefit from it. Your support means a lot to me. Thank you.